Hello, welcome to my report. I am Kimberly Himniwat, reporting the story My Father Goes to the Court by Carlos S. Bolusan. Carlos S. Bolusan was born on November 2, 1911, birthplace Pangasinan, Philippines. He died on September 11, 1956, and the cause of his death was bronchopneumonia. He is an English-language Filipino novelist and a poet who spent most of his life in the United States. His best-known work is the semi-autobiographical America is in the Heart. Other literary works: The Laughter of My Father, The Cry and the Dedication, My Father's Tragedy, The Romance of Magno Robio. The setting of the story is in the city, in the courtroom. Characters: father, the poor, the young narrator, the poor son, the rich man, and the rich man's children. The point of view is second person because the young narrator itself is in the story. He or she is inside of the story and telling what is happening there. Plot of the story. Exposition. There was this family who lived in a small town in the island of Luzon, and they had this neighbor who is a very rich man who had a very tall and big house. The rich man had his children who used to come out from their house and look in the window watching the poor family lifestyle. He also had his maids in his house who constantly cooked delicious food for them. The poor family was fond of the aroma of the food, so they usually stood outside their house and savored the smell of it. The rising action of this story: as time went on, the rich man's children became thin and anemic, while the young narrator's family grew even more and full of life. Their faces were bright and rosy, while the others were pale and sad. Later, the rich man started to cough and his wife began too, and their children one after the other. One day, the rich man suddenly closed their windows after seeing the young narrator's sibling healthy. Maybe because of being uh, they stay in their house, that's why they got thin and anemic. The children, the rich man children. Climax. One morning, a policeman from the presidency came to the poor family house with a sealed paper, and it is because the rich man complained that they have been stealing the spirit of the delicious food that belonged to the rich family. That day came for the two families to face the trial in the court. The rich man had a lawyer, while the young narrator's father stood by his decision not to hire anything. And the following action of the story is that the father went to the court. The rich man's lawyer had thrown him some question, and he did respond to them all. The rich man did not stop complaining, and he even let his children come in the court for proof because she saw that his children are thin and anemic. That is the proof that he's complaining. And the father told the rich man to see his children, and they came pale and thin. After being somehow proven guilty by the lawyer and the rich man's children, the father agreed to pay the crime they committed. The ending of this story is after that, the father stood up and get some coins to his children and wife and put them in his straw hat. Then he walked to the rich man and sounded the coin, and then he said to him, "If he heard the spirit of the sound," then the rich man agreed and he fell down. The jury stopped the case and congratulate the father, and he went to hear his children laugh. They laughed out loud, but the jury laughed harder. The theme of the story is contentment because the poor family is contented for what they have. That's why they live healthy and happy family and happiness because not only in money you can find the happiness and the status in life. Even you are poor, you have the you have the uh, you have the choice to become happy. And the moral lesson that I have picked from the story is to live a simple yet a healthy life is better than to live an abundant yet complicated life. And never accuse someone without any acceptable reason because accusing a person with false justification is basically like judging a person without knowing his or her story. Like the famous Hasik quotation, you may know my name, not my story. So don't judge and look at yourself if you are good enough before judging other people. So that's the end the story and thank you.